Hi everyone, welcome back to school. We are going to start the first topic for this term on decimals. Do you all remember what are decimals? Decimals are simply numbers that has a decimal point in the number. So what does this decimal point do? Do you all remember? This decimal point here separates the whole numbers from numbers that are less than 1. So to the left of the decimal point, there are numbers greater than 1, whereas to the right of the decimal point, there are numbers that are smaller than 1. So let's take a look at today's worksheet. Question number 1. Fill in the blanks to express each number as a fraction and a decimal. 2 examples are shown below. So you're supposed to convert the fraction to a decimal, or in the second table you can see you have to convert a decimal to a fraction. So let's take a look at part B. 9/10. How do you write it as a decimal? It is simply 9/10. 10th means you shift the decimal point from behind 9 one decimal place in front forward to give you a decimal point in front of 9, and therefore it should be a 0.9. For part C, same thing, 10/10ths. Because you see tenths, it means you have to move one decimal place forward. So the decimal point move from behind 0, one decimal place forward to 1.0. For part D, you do the same. 29/10ths. The decimal point is behind 9. Now because it is tenths, you move one decimal place forward, you get an answer of 2.9. Now let's go on to the other table where you have to convert a decimal to a fraction. How do you write 1.0 as a fraction? How many tenths are there in 1.0? There are 10 tenths. For part G, 2.4, how many tenths are there in 2.4? Our answer is 24 tenths. And for part H, 5.6, how many tenths are there in 5.6? 56 tenths. So these are the answers for question number 1. Let's go on to question number 2. In the number 48.5, fill in the blanks to find out the answer. So whenever we are given a number, we have learned that we should always label its place value chart. So in front of the decimal point, the place value is ones. Before that, it is tenths. And after the decimal point, the place value is tenths. So tenth, TTH, tenths. Okay, and for part A, question 2A, the question wants you to write down the value of the digit 5. So we zoom into digit 5, which is here, we focus 5/10. What is the value? Value means the actual number. What is the actual number of 5/10ths? We know that 1/10, when we move the decimal point decimal place forward, we get a 0.1. So 5/10, same thing, we move one decimal place forward, we get a 0.5. Therefore, the value of the digit 5 is 0.5. Now let's go on to part B. The digit 8 stands for in value, same thing, they're asking for the actual number. Okay, so we go to digit 8, we focus on digit 8. 8 ones. How do you write 8 ones in number? It is simply 8. Now moving on to the last part of this question. The digit 4 is in the what place? They are asking for the place value. Digit 4 is in the what place? So we focus on the digit 4. It is in the tens place. So we are done for question number 2. Let's go on to question number 3. Fill in the missing numbers. They want you to fill in the blanks with numbers. Do take note, do not express your answers as fractions. It should be numbers. How do you write 2/10 as a number? So same thing, because we see the tenths place value, we shift the decimal point from behind to one decimal place forward, and we get an answer of 0.2. Part B, 10/10. Same thing, we see the place value of tenths. We shift the decimal point forward by one decimal place, we get a 1.0. Part C, 19/10. Same thing, we see the tenth place value. We shift one decimal point, one decimal place forward, we get a 1.9. Part D, 3/10, 2 ones, and 8/10. How do you write it as a number? So we got to do it step by step. 3/10, the actual number is 30. 2 ones, the actual number is 2. 8/10, how do you write 8/10 as a number? It is, you move one decimal place forward, you get a 0.8. So if we were to do the addition as a working, 30 plus 2 plus 0.8. Make sure you write it, the algorithm, the working in the correct place value. You add together. Okay, so this is 30.0 actually, 2.0. And if you do the addition starting from the last column, the 10th place, you should get 8. Decimal point stays. 0 plus 2 plus 0 is 2. 3 plus nothing is 3. So your answer for part D should be 32.8. Moving on next to question part E. 72.8 is equals to 7/10. How many ones and 8/10? When you see this question, you are given a number. It's very important you label the place value chart. So in front of the decimal point, we label the ones place, followed by the tens place. Behind the decimal point, we label as the tenths place. And now it's simply matching. 7/10, we have it here, 7/10. Now the next question is, how many ones are there in the number? Look at the ones place. What is the digit? How many ones are there? There are 2 ones, so it is 2 ones. But we do a final check with the last portion, 8/10. Does it match? Yes, it does. 8/10. So the answer to part E is 2. Let's look at the last part of the question, part F. 6.2 is equals to what plus 0.2? So same thing, we're going to label the place value chart. In front of the decimal point, label, that's the ones place. Behind the decimal point, that is the tenths place. Okay, so now we do a match again. Okay, we have here 0.2, which is actually 2/10. Over here, 2/10. So what is missing over here is actually 6 ones. And how do you write 6 ones as a number? It is simply 6. With that, we are done with the worksheet. Thank you.